What the fuck is that? I'm not. You call Mike and give you
the aftermarket camera I put in the front is behind the
sensor?
visor. The visor. Yeah. I put it in the back.
Would you like a brochure here?
We're giving out towels. We're going to have a panel discussion right now. Justin,
We're doing 20%
Chris,
off for if you mention you're with Tesla, and 25% off.
get ready for the
if you
panel.
book with us today.
We're going to give away 2 shirts first.
I'll look at it. It's on the other side.
You guys follow social media. We have 2 big influencers here. Justin, aka DirtyTesla's here. Chris from DirtyTesla's here.
Yeah. Would you like sunscreen too?
We're going to do some Q&As here for you guys. Any questions you have? These are the people you want to speak to. Raphael, you ready for the first raffle?
Yes. I get my sunglasses too.
Hey, haven't seen you. Oh, baby, hi. Oh my God, I missed you so much.
0332.
I tried not to wake you up.
0332. Sam, there you go. Next one. This is for a female though. Female shirt. 0406. This is a shirt from Dirty Tesla. It's for a female. 0406. Close, no cigar. Do another one. 0406. Going once, twice. No, do another one.
I was like, do you want me to go to my dinner? I have
0358. 0358. 0358. 0402. 0402. Mueller. I'm just gonna pick a female. Okay, last one before I pick somebody. So we'll ask the questions. 0376. 0376. One more, and that's it. 0336. 0336. There you go. About time. All right, so we're gonna kick off our panel, and I have a couple puddle lights if you guys What little lights come up? We'll start this off right now. Rafael, you ready? Where's Justin?
Right there. Well, we have like a board.
I make it for a Model 3 and Model Y.
How's everyone doing? Guys here, we have Chris, DirtyTesla, teslamojo, and Justin, the Tesla guy, and my good friend. So my name is Rafael, I'm the president and founder of the Tesla Owners of Florida Club, and I thank everyone for coming, for coming here to this event. What we're going to do right now is that we're going to have a quick chat with the guys here about three very special topics that are very dear to my heart, and theirs as well. So, guys, why don't you, before we do that, why don't you do an introduction, each one of you?
I'm Justin. I've been a Tesla owner since 2020, and that's about it.
How about, what is it that you do for fun right now?
For fun? I don't have fun. My everyday is fun all day.
Okay, sounds good. So there you have it. You're the Tesla guy, Justin. Yeah, what are your channels? To let people know where to find you, those that don't know.
You can check me out on no, not that one. YouTube, You're the Tesla guy. Also, You're the Tesla on Twitter, or X, and Instagram.
Awesome, thank you.
And TikTok.
Tiki-Toki?
Until it's gone, please be gone.
Okay. Mark, how about you?
Yeah, so I am teslamojo. I've owned Teslas since middle of 2019, and really excited about the brand. You want me to answer about what I do for fun?
Yeah.
I hang out with you guys, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you're very fond of FSD, right? That's you do a lot of videos of that?
I do some videos on FSD on YouTube, so you can find me there. You can find me on X, teslamojo. Yeah. Then we got this guy.
All right, Chris.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris. I am going to scoot over here. I have a YouTube channel, Dirty Tesla, same on X. That's most of my social media stuff I do there. Lots of owner experience, FSD, all of that. I have 2 kids, full-time job. I'm married, so not eligible bachelor.
And you flew in from Michigan for this event, right?
Yep, flew in from Michigan just specifically for this event. We're going back home.
Awesome, thank you so much. Round of applause to all our panelists.
Before though we begin, the first question, Chris, this is for you. You were recently spotted detail cleaning your Cybertruck. The wife dimed you out. How do you respond to these accusations?
Yeah, these are false accusations. It's not true. There were dead bugs all over the front of my Cybertruck. I was getting them off because if you don't take the dead bugs off, you void the warranty. No, it's a total joke.
False. Fake news.
The Tesla was totally dirty, but I don't like the dead bugs in the front. It's just gross. That's it. That's all. It's okay.
And if you're interested, the video can be found on X. Just look for Wife Tesla. It's definitely one of hers. Recently enough that it's. I'm not sure why you're.
She should have been here, not me.
She should have. She should have.
It's actually the handle is what? Wife of DirtyTesla? Is that it? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so let's start with the first question. Like the question is for the three of you. How excited are you about the current and the future state of the transition to electric vehicles right now? Let's start with you, Justin.
Man, it's a year ago I would have answered this different, but so much has changed, unfortunately, with Legacy Auto, and they've really kind of changed their tune on what they plan and want to do with EVs. Now, on the other hand, when you look at Hyundai, Kia, like you just want to sit in the boardroom and then say, just keep going, guys. Like you have no idea, just don't stop. You can own a big chunk of this if you don't stop, because they're the only ones that don't seem to be slowing down. So that is discouraging, but on the other hand, we've got this awesome rivalry between Rivian and Tesla that has existed for a while, and it's really hot right now. And we're starting to finally get to the point where Rivian is talking about releasing products that are super competitive with Tesla. So now we get to experience the back and forth between Tesla and Rivian. So Rivian's gonna come out with, half a second faster of this, and then Tesla's gonna be another half second faster. So we're gonna win from this competition, and that's exciting. But Legacy is not so exciting.
So it's a friendly competition.
Yeah, I'm sure it's cutthroat behind the scenes, but it's gonna be good for us.
Mark?
Yeah, so I've been driving EVs since 2019, and I've been excited about them the whole time. Back then, I was the only Tesla that I ever saw. And when you did see a Tesla, you would always give a wave. And just seeing the explosive growth of EVs, not only at Tesla, but at other brands, seeing other ones around the road, I really appreciate where everything's going. And to kind of tie on to what Bearded Tesla guy here said, it's kind of sad seeing Legacy Auto pull back from their plans. I was really excited for the Lightning, the Mach-E, all these great companies who have been able to make great cars for years. It really disappoints me, but I don't think it's going to be the end of even those legacy manufacturers. They'll come back and they'll be better. Well, maybe. I do hope. Maybe I'm an optimistic person. That's what I am. And we actually will have even more competition than we have today, which will absolutely benefit the customer in the long term.
I want to interject one thing. I think is key here is that the pie is really big, and I think that there's enough public for all manufacturers to be able to sell an electric vehicle that meets someone's need, but they have to do their part. If they slack off, they're going to die away. So, how about you, Chris?
Yeah, we saw a lot of growth over the past 5 years or so with Tesla. I also, 2019 was when I got my first one, and same thing in my area, there were no electric anything. And being in Michigan, very close to the other manufacturers, now I see everybody's EVs. I see a lot of Hummer EVs and Mustang EVs and everything. But disappointingly, over the past 6 months or so, or maybe a year, I think the biggest issue is interest rates going up, making cars way more expensive than they were before, and everything's more expensive, so you maybe got to pull back on the car. On top of the legacy manufacturers making these electric vehicles that aren't as compelling as the Tesla, that ended up either failing or not doing as well as we thought, it gives a lot of room for people to bring in a lot of fun and say, look, these electric vehicles aren't selling, Ford is pulling back, GM's pulling back, they're doing less because people don't want EVs. EVs for a while probably realizes that people want a good EV, they just don't want your bad EV. But it still gives people this ammo to kind of talk poorly about them. And again, I think the biggest thing is interest rates are slowing everything down. So if that can come back down, or we can keep getting butts and seats and things we have in the past few years, people are going to be like, yes, we want EVs, but maybe we want these type and not these type.
And another thing that I just thought of is, back when you and I first got Teslas, you still were able to drive long distances, but the charging network has become, at least on this side of the country, it still needs to be worked on the west side, as Justin is very aware of. But you can easily drive anywhere, halfway across the country with no issues. Actually, across the country with no issues, but there still needs to be work needs to be done on the west side of the country. And opening it up to other manufacturers is really a positive for electric vehicles as a whole. And as the kinks are worked out between the manufacturers working together, it's going to get even better, and that's where I see it going.
I think the other thing is that not everyone needs to drive 300 miles every day. So if you don't need to drive a lot of long distance travel, and you're just locally picking up the groceries, the kids in school and whatnot, usually there's a vehicle right now that's available. It doesn't need to be a Tesla, but I think this is a good segue so that we can talk about the next topic, which is what do you guys think is the Tesla advantage versus legacy manufacturers? In my opinion, I'll provide my 2 cents and let you guys go at it. I think one of the biggest advantages is that Tesla started from the ground up without any baggage, even though it was really, really hard. We all know, those of us that know the history, at least they didn't have to transition a production line that had to support multiple production issues to overcome. They just started from a clean slate, and they were able to just kind of ramp up their own production based on their internal needs. So what's your take on that, on what the Tesla advantage is versus the other manufacturers?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that Tesla makes money on every vehicle they sell. It's pretty simple. And especially legacy, even Rivian is not yet making money per vehicle sold. And if they continue, they'll get there. I'm pretty confident that if they survive long enough, they're going to get to that point. But I talked to a lot of the people that work at legacy manufacturers lately, and they're into it. They enjoy the electric vehicles. They want them to be successful. They like working on them. But the problem is they don't make money. The more electric vehicles they sell, the more money they lose. And it's just this kind of death spiral of what do we do? Because we have to keep selling the gas cars to survive, but we also have to transition some of our equipment to these EVs, and it's how do they get out of that and replace their stuff. So that's, by far the biggest advantage. And Tesla has lowered prices a ton, but their margins didn't really change if you listen to the owners call. So everyone was worried about demand is down, they have to lower prices because no one's buying the cars. No, they lowered prices because they're just making the same amount of money with these lower prices, and they can let more people experience it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, how about you?
So I'm going to come at this with a different angle from the consumer side, right? This is actually what Tesla, who Tesla does it for, is for us. And for me, it is vertical integration. The ability to not only have an electric vehicle, their charger, solar panels, home backups, right? All working seamlessly together to give you just an awesome experience. And anybody who has or owns a Tesla today, you know this, but I think it's an immense advantage that Tesla has. Other manufacturers like Rivian have been doing really well with their app. I haven't had experience with it, but I've seen a lot of people working with it. But coming from getting the electricity from the fusion reactor in the sky, storing it on the side of the house, pumping it into your car, basically being able to drive at a very, very low cost and doing it seamlessly through only one location. That app on your phone is something that we'll see as manufacturers do mature a bit, but Tesla has the lead today.
So basically you're talking about the vertical integration that Tesla has.
Absolutely.
It's a cost advantage. Like what was said, being able to start from scratch is awesome, Legacy has billions of dollars of factories that are not set up for the cars of tomorrow. And unfortunately, just recently they decided maybe we're going to slow down instead of going all in. So they're not willing to take the loss today, but it's because they're so driven and run by their stock and shareholders, right? And that's, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But at the same time, in the same breath, you got Jim Farley coming out here, kicking the door through and saying, my customer's experience matters more than my ego, that kind of thing. And now everybody fell in behind. And I think had Jim Farley not had the courage and the fortitude to stand up and say, no, we're going to do this for our customers, I think a lot of EVs had no chance of success in the long run. Like, even today in 2024, like, public charging infrastructure is garbage. It's so bad. And when Tesla decided to open this up to everybody, like, I'm so excited for people to experience what it's supposed to be like. So, like, people who have been, suffering through it or whatever, like, this is going to be a game changer. And when the NACS port is native on the car, it's going to be even easier. But some Rivian friends of mine, I've been with them at chargers, and they just plug and go. Like, they don't have to set a credit card. Like, it's all done in the back end, just like Tesla, as it should be. And it's seamless and it works. And it just works. And that's it.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up, and it's a very good point that the fact that the Tesla charging network is so solid. I mean, I've done hundreds of thousands of miles across the US and Canada, and only once in that driving, I found myself struggling a little bit, and it was basically my fault because I thought I could outsmart the navigation, and my Model Y that's there, which is lifted and on off-road tires, the efficiency on it got affected, and I just wasn't paying attention that I needed to charge just a little bit more. And I still made it. I just had to slow down a little bit. So even in that case, but overall, the Tesla charging network, which is now being opened slowly to more manufacturers, I think that's one of the biggest advantages they have right now.
Yeah, and I got a little bit of a story on that. So a couple weeks ago, me and my older kid, he's 10 years old, we drove out to Texas for the eclipse. It was an awesome experience, but we took, my Model S, and honestly, we stopped more for unplanned restroom breaks than we did for charge stops. And when you need to stop for a restroom break that was unplanned, put on the next charger and stop there. You most likely just added enough range going to the restroom, coming back, to skip the next charger, maybe even the one after that.
Exactly. So that was a great conversation. I do want to talk about something that is very dear to my heart, and I don't know, can you show of hands who has tried FSD supervised, as they call it now, and who hasn't, really? I'm a little confused. Everyone not tried it yet. So here's the thing. I wanted to talk about a little bit about FSD and what you guys think about what the contribution to safety is from FSD, because I've been using it since they first opened it up, since October 2020, along with you guys. And FSD has saved me from accidents even when I'm paying attention. And on the rare occasion that it tries to do something wrong, I'm right there, and it's absolutely no hassle for me to take over. So I want to see what you guys think about the contribution of Tesla's autopilot technology in terms of safety contribution, right?
I think it's actually more than just safety. So safety is obviously the big win here. And at some point, it's going to be so safe, they're going to start asking, I don't know what happens after they ask, but they're going to start asking, why do people drive anymore? Why do we let people drive anymore? And I think that's probably a possible future we have in front of us, which is sad to think, but it is getting there. We still have plenty of room to go. It still has work to do, but I will say this, V12 was the first time in my ownership experience where I said, okay, I can see it now. It was that much better. And you can start to feel we're getting somewhere. But it's more than that. It's access to mobility, and I think that's the thing that's not being talked about that matters the most about full self-driving. So do you have an elderly parent that can't go anywhere on their own, right? This just gave them access to a whole world. That's what this means. And also underrepresented communities where taxis refuse to go. Like a robo-taxi is going to go there and pick this person up. So people aren't going to be discriminated against. People aren't going to have to worry about having a license to be able to get where they need to go. And it truly does change the world when everybody has equality in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, how about you?
So, I've had FSD since October of 2021. It was actually Halloween night. And 10.3, I believe. But, you know, that was in way early days. And, you know, Chris here, Dirty Tesla, he's had he's literally an OG.
Do you have FSD?
But not on the Cybertruck, though.
Well, nobody does. But I think you took everything I was going to say, Justin. But the leaps and bounds that have been made over the 2.5 years that I've had FSD, seeing it grow, seeing it get better in some places, worse than others, right? It's a process, and understanding that we are helping bring about this new, transportation. I can't say utopia; that's a bit too much. But this ease of transportation for just about everybody. You have the choice if you want to, own a car, or just grab a robo-taxi and go wherever you need. That's local, which is 95% of many people's drives, maybe more. It's going to help unlock so many opportunities for the people that are transportation, that don't have ready access to transportation. And this has been something I've thought about just about as long as I've had FSD. And V12, it's good. It really is good. If you haven't tried it on your Tesla, you should have had are we still doing test drives on FSD right now?
Yeah, if you want to try out FSD, the Tesla stuff here, they're doing demo rides.
Exactly. It's really amazing to just see the car handle even mundane obstacles, mundane traffic situations. I actually drive quite a bit, and having that backup, and that's the way I view it, is absolutely a backup. It is an assistance system today, but I can see the path where it becomes so much more in the future.
Yeah, so it kind of turned into 2 points. One is it's not Android. Does it drive itself? So on the point of accessibility, I mean, that's huge, and a lot of people don't think about that. A lot of the comments I see on are, why do I want this? I can drive myself. What's the point? And it hit my head, because I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, you're not the only person on Earth. There's plenty of people that can take advantage of this. And then the safety aspect, I mean, is just massive. In its current state, it's definitely human paying attention using this software is just unbelievably safe. On its own, it still makes mistakes, obviously. They are rarer than they used to be, and they're a lot safer types of mistakes than they used to be, but it can still be bad if you're not paying attention. And then we all know how humans do. For the most part, we're pretty good, but I mean, how many traffic deaths and traffic accidents happen daily? I mean, it's insane that it's even allowed.
I personally think that FSD in its current state is good enough for thinking about it as like saving lives right now. It may not be fully autonomous yet, but I think the contribution at this point it's outstanding.
The data says that that's true. We
Absolutely. And Chris, you have some really interesting use cases that you and I were talking the other day in your area about like how it reacts to red lights, turning on reds.
Yeah, so the biggest complaint you'll normally see from people right now is that the car's either going too slow or not going when they would go. These complaints are more just convenience and preference rather than anything dangerous or bad. And I had a specific example. I've actually had this example a couple times, but just last week where I was at a stop sign, completely stopped. I was going to turn right, it was finally clear and the car's not moving, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go, and a cyclist comes flying by on my right side. Had I started that turn, had I done that turn, I would have either crashed into them or they would have crashed into me. And it would have been traumatizing for both of us.
Do you think that the car saw it and you didn't see it?
100% saw it. I have it all recorded. You can go back and watch the footage, and you can see the cyclist way behind the car on the display, highlighted in blue. As they pull up, the car didn't move an inch until they passed by. And actually, that cyclist did something illegal by blowing the stop sign. So, not that that matters if I hit them. That's a bad thing overall. But the fact is that human did the wrong thing, and the software basically corrected for it and kept everybody safe. So, and that's happened multiple times, over the years.
And that's only one of many use cases, because I've seen it do the same thing for cars that are not obeying the traffic, moving along, letting them go by. In fact, I think I saw, I think it was yesterday or the day before that, cars that are turning into your lane without putting the signal, the car knows and it starts blinking on the display as if the person had the turn signal, indicating that it is aware that the person just intended to go into your lane, which is incredible, really.
Yeah, it sees the human behavior and all of them. It's pretty amazing.
And if we just keep feeding the computer more and more, I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong as we let it do more tasks for us humans.
It's Skynet. Is that what you're going for here?
Skynet.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
Take me, Skynet. I'm ready.
Hey, I do welcome my robot openers.
So, do you guys want to contribute any additional topic before we open it up for Q&A?
So somebody shared this. I cannot take credit for this, but somebody shared this with me, and I want to share it with you so you can take this with interested people that are EV curious. So, whew, man, this mic's bad. What somebody recently told me that just clicked was that if I gave you a Model Y and I gave you a wall charger in your garage, you would not give it back to me in a month. So for people, that's a really good way to get people to change their mindset to maybe there's a way I can try this, and maybe I'll learn at that point that maybe there is a reason why 1.2 million Model Ys were sold last year. Maybe there's a reason why it outsold a car half its price. Maybe there's a reason why it's the best-selling car in the entire world.
Well, I mean, you think about it with having a robotaxi network.
Well, having a robotaxi network, I don't actually need the microphone. I'm just really nice.
Is that better? There we go. It's just the price, right? What are we thinking? 10, 30 cents or so a mile to go wherever you want. That is absolutely, it opens it up with for so many people.
It's working now, yes.
Well, microphones apparently don't like me like Cybertrucks don't.
There is one important thing, though, that needs to be said, and everybody needs to be shouting it on X every day directly to Elon Musk. Please price full self-driving in two categories. One for us normal people, and one for the people that are going to make this $100,000 a year on robotaxi. Please, I cannot afford the same software that this guy can.
No, I'm good. Let's hear from the people.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, guys.
So, if anyone has a question for any of us, raise your hand and we'll answer as much as we can. Anyone? So there was a question here, but it's a really hard question because she wants to know when the Roadster Founders Edition is coming out. And
you haven't gotten yours yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, I think Founders are already done. You've already shipped all those.
Yeah, you're talking about the new Roadster, right? They said that they're trying to ramp it up for next year, but no one really knows. The timeline is really tight, and Tesla, they have other priorities right now because that car is not going to sell in volume.
I mean, something that we all know is Tesla is optimistic with timelines, which is, there's nothing wrong with getting the team excited and pushing for a date that can be met with everything going right, but unfortunately sometimes things do go wrong.
Yeah, sometimes they get it right, so we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Yes. The question is if the Founders Edition of the Roadster is coming before the rest, and the answer is yes, for sure. They'll probably do a limited run.
Model Y refresh.
That would be pure speculation, but go ahead.
Q1 of 2025.
Yeah, that's right. Can you repeat the question?
Your question was refresh Model Y. Where is it? When is it coming? I suspect Q1 of 2025.
Based off all the information I have, which is none, I agree with Justin here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's no way for us knowing that, and even Tesla knowing won't be able to say anything because they have a timeline that they have to meet, and if anything goes wrong, then they are affected. I hope for the sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Tesla's been really good at keeping a lot of things under wrap recently. Cybertruck being one, since 2019. No, the Juniper, the Model 3. Ah, dang it. Highland, or not Highland, who knows. But they did a really good job keeping that under wraps and only releasing it when it was pretty much ready. It was like a month prior was when China released it. And, you know, the new performance, I mean, if I wasn't a little bit of a Model S snob, that's just me, the new Model 3 performance would absolutely be in my cart.
Another car that does under 3 seconds, 0 to 60 for $46,500 after tax credit.
It's insane. That's insane. That's really
Take
insane.
your Hemi. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Just nuts.
It almost makes me want to replace my 2020 performance for the 2024 because it's insane.
Yes.
Yeah, but my car's paid off, so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's no fun.
I know. So actually, you know what? We'll catch another question, but
Do you need a referral?
so we have 3 Cybertruck owners here on the stage right now, and I did want to talk about that for a second. It just occurred to me that we haven't talked about this thing, and I want to know, Chris, your main impression as well as you, Justin. You just told a Cybertruck with a Cybertruck across this country from California to here in Florida. I did a 7,000-mile run from here to Utah and went to South Texas and came back. But I want to hear your opinion.
Let me go first because mine's not as exciting. So we'll wait for you. So yeah, I took delivery a little over a month ago, and we immediately did a road trip from Michigan to Florida, which was excellent. We've done similar road trips in Model X, and the experience. So again, it's me and my wife and 2 kids. The experience was identical to the Model X in terms of charging, time driving. We had no problems at all. The Cybertruck was incredibly comfortable. It's quiet, even though the tires are all-terrain tires and they're huge. They're very comfortable, very quiet. I'm still excited to get some street tires on there just for efficiency and stuff. But efficiency in my daily experience of using it is actually beating Tesla's advertised efficiency numbers, which is the first time that's happened for me on any Tesla I've owned. So that's been exciting. Problems, I really only had a problem with a piece of trim that came off, and I had to request service, and I thought it was going to be months waiting for this part, and it was exactly 14 days from the request to the repair. Model 3 to play with while I waited. It took me exactly 2 hours to fix it. So of course, on a new expensive car, you'd hope 0 is wrong, but if that's all, then I'll be happy. And then the last thing, actually I'm currently renting it out to a friend right now. He wanted to, use it for, we have the NFL draft in Detroit right now. He wanted to take it down to Detroit. He has a bunch of big stuff going on there. So I was like, yeah, it's part of the experience is these opportunities because it's so new and so desired. He's paying me pretty good to help me afford the thing. To rent it for the week, and he gave me his Model S, in the meantime. And, in a year, you don't have these same opportunities. So I was like, whatever, I'll go for it. Well, 2 days later, he calls me and says, yeah, someone backed into it. So that was no good. The good news is, so the back, this nice sail panel here, at the very bottom corner got bent up, just barely. In my opinion, it still needs to be fixed, but because the truck's brand new. But if it's only cosmetic, and if the truck was 5 years old, or you were going to bang it up on a farm or something anyway, nothing needs to be done. The other person's car was It was very messed up from touching the Cybertruck for sure. So overall experience has been amazing, and I was hyped for it before I got it, so I'm incredibly happy, even though I had high expectations, so it's great.
I have noticed that anyone that has crashed into a Cybertruck, they just can't win.
They need a lot of repairs, but I mean, to be fair, the Cybertruck doesn't need that hard replaced, but from what I've heard, they literally can take that piece off and put the other one on, and it's less than an hour repair.
So it's like a bolt-on panel.
It's a bolt-on panel, and I actually am gonna, I don't know, I'm not sure say. I know someone who has a Cybertruck that it's in a lot of pieces, and I'm gonna see if they'll trade me their piece for my piece. Maybe make a fun little content out of this DIY Cybertruck repair. We'll see.
I have an idea. Justin, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your recent adventures. You can talk about the two or just the one coast-to-coast trailering.
Yeah, it's, man, I think you're spot on. It's hard to explain to people that haven't driven a Cybertruck what it's like. Because when you sit in it, you know you're in a truck, you feel like you're in a truck. But it feels like it turns tighter than a Model Y, it's smoother than a Model X, and it's quieter than both. And it just like, so it's not making sense in your mind what's happening. And then after driving it for a couple days, when you get in your other Tesla, you're not going to turn enough because, the wheel turns like this much. That's it.
They feel like it's broken, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. For towing, that was quite the experience. It actually wasn't planned and happened last minute. It was an incredible opportunity. That's why I have my Cybertruck. But basically, I went to Salt Lake City, Utah to pick up a Cybertruck to deliver to Celebration, Florida for a Make-A-Wish event. And then that truck needed to go a few days later from there to Long Beach in California. But I ended up taking delivery of my Cybertruck while I was there. So that happened. Towing is, it's hard for me because I'm used to road tripping a lot and I do 1,000 miles a day. That's kind of my goal. So I did about half of that while towing. I didn't exceed the speed limit and I went up to 70 miles an hour. And charging was tough for me. I like to charge for 20, 25 minutes, keep blasting. So in the middle of this country, kind of out west, we have old chargers and they're spaced really far apart. And don't get range confused with distance to next charger. I got that a lot too on this trip. Was, oh my God, it only went 60 miles. It's like, well, it was either go 60 or go 160, and I couldn't go 160. So yes, I went 60. That doesn't mean that's the range of the truck. But it's unbelievable. There's some kind of voodoo magic happening with that truck while you're towing. I've towed a lot in my day, and passing semis or being passed by semis, the truck was planted the whole time. Like, it was just a mind-blowing experience. And for people who have never towed, they're not going to appreciate what it's doing. For people who have towed, are going to be like, what in the world is happening? So I suspect there's some software magic happening with the rear wheels that are stabilizing the truck. It was just incredible. So gobs of power, super stable. I was able to make some maneuvers towing a trailer that I never in a million years thought would be possible in a truck, which was really cool. And then, range is what it is. And that's kind of the downfall right now with towing is range isn't enough. So range extender when, right? That's really the question for people who want that extra range to do stuff like towing. Once we get a range extender, it's going to be an exciting time to see if that's the trick. So I think of like a Tahoe, Silverado with, I guess the 6.2, the bigger V8. When towing with that, it's about every 150 miles you stop for gas. So it's the same thing, right? My effective range in a 20-mile-an-hour headwind through the mountains would have been 120-ish, and I think the best would have been about 140-ish, and that was with adverse conditions. So it's very similar to gas.
Those numbers on the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
That is not bad at all.
It's not bad. I was hoping for 150 bottom and then up from there. So it was a little bit less than I had hoped for, but I was in between two storms the entire time. I had this 20-mile-an-hour wind the entire way across the country. I could not get away from it, so it's what it is. So
Did you have the opposite, like at some point where the wind was behind you, helping you?
because of the way the storm was moving, I continued to have this freaking headwind until I hit Tennessee, and then once I got past Nashville, it flipped again, and then I had a head crosswind again. So I had like maybe one leg between chargers where I didn't have a head or side wind. It was nuts.
That's great. And you have the entire documentation of that trip on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-hour video.
2-hour video, I saw it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Have you taken it off-road? I know you live on a gravel road, basically. Well, not the house, but at the end of it. Have you guys done any major off-roading on the Cybertruck yet?
Not really, no. I can say that on the non-pavement roads, it is so much better than any other vehicle. And it's nice because when the dirt roads get bad, you get huge holes in them, and you gotta go really slow, and like your car's doing this. In Cybertruck so far, I just go 40 overall, and go 40, 50, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I just don't care. And
Yeah,
it feels
same.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin?
Well, the last guy that yeeted his Cybertruck may be your friend, so that you're talking about. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Right.
I have not done. I was supposed to go last weekend. I just couldn't make it happen. So it is coming very soon. Real off-roading. I've done a lot of off-roading in my time. I had Jeep Wranglers growing up and trucks, and so I'm excited.
Yeah, I did take mine. So I picked it up in March, early March, on March 4th, and on the 7th I was already on my way to Moab from down here, and the original tires were only on the truck for 3 days, and then I replaced them for the true KO2s, which are like the standard for off-roading, and we spent 5 full days on the trails of Utah, and it was insanity. It was so good. We went through really, like, we got lost in one occasion on the trails, and we ended up at a red type of trail, which was like maximum difficulty, and we were able to manage. We had 3 Cybertrucks, 1 Model X and a Model Y, and thankfully there were options to take less difficult trails at times, so the X and the Y could do those while we're going at it, but it behaved really, really well. The amount of flexibility you have here with the suspension, being able to go up and down, and even the extract mode, the ability to seal the battery pack if you're going to go through water, it's insane. I mean, we actually tried it, all of those things, and if you haven't experienced a Cybertruck and you have a friend that owns one, take a ride with them because you're going to like it, really.
Yeah, and actually, I've had a chance to drive actually 2 Cybertrucks now, but my last one was a buddy that we went to Moab with, and I was driving by his house, and we linked up, and he let me take it along the trails nearby, and it was just, it soaked up the bumps so nicely. It definitely, you can feel that it's much higher. Me coming from a Model S, it is much higher than those, and it moves differently down the road when you accelerate, when you brake. It's really hard to describe, and I mean, hopefully Tesla does open up some test drives for the Cybertruck soon, so you can experience it yourself.
The last thing I think is really important to say about Cybertruck is, on paper, in my opinion, there's a lot to complain about still. No autopilot is crazy. What? No FSD, you know, it'll come via software update eventually, but it's been out for 6 months, still no basic autopilot. Prices are not where we hoped they would be. Looking at the overall market, I think the price is decently reasonable, but they're not what we hoped. Range is not what I hoped it would be. Yeah, the long range is actually a little bit more than they said, but I still think really they should have been based around 400 miles. There's a lot. Our wheel caps are not there. They deliver it with this unfinished, rusty. There's a lot. But all that said, actually owning it, I love it. I'm still extremely happy. It was worth the purchase. And I think especially once they get moved past that Foundation series, I don't know what they're going to do price-wise, because if they keep selling at this price, they're not going to lower the price. But if prices do come down even just a little bit, it's going to be a phenomenal for the people that want that type of vehicle.
I mean, the way, like, without those, the way it drives, actually, like, actually, the way that drive-by-wire was implemented on the Cybertruck, it's incredible, and I think it's the future. I think the entire Tesla fleet at some point will change to that type of drive it because it makes it so much better. Not necessarily needing the rear steering, but the way that it steers when you're going slow and much more input. I mean, full lock is just, that's it. That's full lock, so you don't have to turn the, and now I get on my 3 on the Y, and I feel like I'm spinning that wheel forever. Just with me to a 90-degree turn.
Yeah, for sure. The steer-by-wire is seriously unreal. Yeah, for sure.
So, does anyone have any other questions before we close it up?
I got 2 questions. When do you guys think that the Cybertruck, they'll go from the Foundation Series to like the regular versions that they have planned out? How long do you think that might take?
You want to speculate on that?
January 1st. I concur.
I agree with these guys.
I mean, it's just a total guess. I mean, they're not gonna, in my opinion, get rid of it until people stop buying it or the purchases slow down significantly. But I would guess that they definitely want to extend it throughout this year. Probably mostly for optics, but it's all demand driven.
I agree that's a good speculation, but I think we'll see before the end of the year. I think we'll see non-foundation being sold. That's my opinion. Because I think that once they do that, if they have the ability, like the volume is there, I think they're going to sell every single one of them, no questions. Every single site that they make is going to sell. So, maybe it's wishful
Good, Mike. Appreciate it, man. Thanks again for having us, man. Keep in touch. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, sure. But I didn't want to bother you. I am small and 2X. Okay. I'll take this one. Awesome. Small? And then we want a lens wipe for your glass. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. You got nice shoes on too.
That's what it was for. Also, I should know for sure.
Tesla will tell you to replace the pack to make sure that there's no compromising the battery. There's 35 millimeters of space on the Cybertruck because it was made for off-roading to get impact by rocks or whatever it is, so you have more lenience in terms of being able to hit the pack and not damage it.
Not only that, but the extra cavity allows for a little bit more room in the rare case that there is a thermal event to expand and not move that heat into the adjacent cells. So it's a safety feature as well.
Make a quick announcement.
Just a quick announcement. Does anybody own a white Tesla Model Y with license space shuttle? Tesla white Model Y? What's your license plate? Is it Tesla on it? You say Tesla?
Where is it parked?
Right here to the far right. It's blocking the car.
No, it's
Does anybody here own a Tesla? We're looking for a Tesla owner.
Yes. Yes. Please raise your hand, see the manager.
Oh, look at, we got another load coming in here.
Any other questions?
Are there any accessories y'all run across that you feel like you couldn't live without? Why didn't Tesla put this in their cars?
I love the sexy buttons.
Power frunk for me, man. Power frunk.
All-weather floor mats. I still don't have them yet in my Model S. I got them only 2 months ago. But living in Florida especially, you know, there's just sand everywhere, whether you like it or not. And getting sand out of carpet is not the easiest thing to do. I mean, would you agree, Justin? Exactly. So
Absolutely, whether they're Tesla or you can find plenty of aftermarket ones as well.
Yeah, all-weather floor mats are definitely my first. Sexy buttons are a close second. There's so many accessories now that I've done, but live without, that's too high of one. Highly recommend, I could give you a bunch, but live without, I'm not that dedicated to most things, so yeah. They're one of my sponsors, yeah. Disclaimer, that's a sponsor of mine. But it's true, I've been using them for like 2 years.
So, one of the questions that just came through, can you explain to us your cleaning process for the Cybertruck?
Drive through big puddles, or car wash. We gotta put in car wash mode. That's it.
Any other questions, guys, before we wrap it up? No? Well, thank you everyone for coming. I'm glad you have a good time here, and I hope we see you on the next one.
Thank you, everybody.
And now we're going to spend the next hour talking again about tax.
I thought you were going to say Tesla.
Right there, guys.
Yeah.